So welcome to Fonostage, everyone. This is Dinner with Friends. We're here with Pancho and Merky. We got Mischief and Bandit. My buddy here, Merky. I've known him for over 25 years. And he's been in a number of bands since high school. It's been crazy. Just every time he's just in another band or in multiple bands, and that's just how I've known him.
And I have as my guest Pancho over here. I've known Pancho since '97. We met in London, Ontario. Westernites Unite. And
I was there. I was enrolled. I was on campus promoting more.
Well, yeah, I just said we were in London. I didn't say anything else. Yeah, Panch has been in the music industry himself, a recording artist, as well as behind the scenes, studio-wise, as well as, stage managing and helping out other artists. Also, part of my COVID crew, and I appreciate all the COVID peeps out there that held everything together for your friends, for your family, however that goes.
So today's episode is similar to our on-repeat episodes, but slightly different in the sense that the on-repeats are not our choices, but our guests.
We're taking over.
I'm going to jump into this with Handsome Devil by the Smiths. Again, Pancho, just a quick synopsis or statement, rather, about why you picked that song.
Okay. Make it simple like this.
Yeah.
What you're hearing is completely opposite of what he's saying. So you're hearing a rocking tune.
Yeah.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Like you're hearing a banging, less than 3-minute punk song, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's going in.
So it's an oxymoron of its own.
Right? But he's actually talking about
the sleeper tunes.
Yeah, it's crazy because he's always, and that's the thing about Morrissey. Like you'll listen to his lyrics when you get into it. Like that's how I got into it. I'd be sitting there, I'm like, did he just fucking say that?
Yeah.
Right? And then you leave and you're like, holy fuck, he still said that. I get it. And the picture's painted.
Right.
And it's there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that track, Handsome Devil, was more like, he was like, this is what I take. He's in class, you know what I mean? Way ahead. I'm sure I was like this. I'm sure maybe you guys were like this. I'm dazing off. Because I know what's happening in class. I'm just dazing off. I'm doodling at my thing. I'm thinking of other shit. Right? But because the teacher and him are not connecting, right? And he's just looking at her tits the whole time, right?
Right.
That's a joke of Morrissey. Like he's saying this shit so elegantly, right? And he's like, I'm just doing.
He's crooning to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I used to do that too. I used to just stare at my teacher's tits, and you know what I mean? Like, I think about rock and roll, and like, you know what I mean? And you wouldn't even expect it from Morrissey. So that's
pretty rock and roll.
That's pretty rock and roll.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah.
You said the part, and we went through this on our last episode about oxymorons with songs where it sounds upbeat and I'm dancing my ass off. Then I finally realized what the lyrics about it, and I'm sitting on my couch and I'm crying, kind of thing, is what one of the songs did to me, kind of thing, right? This, on a different note, was the same thing. He wanted to do it, from what I read and researched on, he wanted to do away with the general terms of heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, right? Because those things generally do damage to people's egos, it confuses people, and it makes them unhappy.
Way ahead of his time.
Shocking for the 80s.
Yeah.
To be saying lyrically what he was saying. It stirred up a lot of outrage.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Hence his call following. The Smiths call following.
Yeah. There was nothing coy about. There was nothing. Actually, once you read the lyrics and understood them, there's nothing coy about what he's saying. He's fucking tricking you.
Right there.
Because he's fucking crooning at you sexily. Fuck you, Morrissey, you sexy man. There was nothing coy about this song, like I was saying. It's lustful. I like what Rolling Stone had to say. Just this little part about it. The rhythm section is cracking the whip down.
Oh, yeah.
And Morrissey is yelping for his life.
It's nuts. It's bananas. It's bananas, man. If you haven't gotten the Smiths yet, but you will, and when you do, you won't even have a choice. It'll be like he does. He just listens to some music, and you're like, what was that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's Smiths, right? You're like, oh, let me just go listen to a shuffle.
This
you're
definitely
in the
brought
house,
me,
and you're like, holy fuck, this is like,
This
What
definitely brought me back
Sorry, go ahead.
to it made me feel like our skateboarding days.
Of course.
first, right? Like as soon as I heard it, I was just like,
Yeah.
the first thing I thought of was like us on a skateboards, like at the back of Carmel.
So nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh, right away. Just the feel of the music,
Yeah.
right? For me, I've heard the Smiths, but it's not the Smiths in the sense of just religiously listening, or even like picking out specific songs.
Well, that was a challenge too with that, because I could have picked Charming Man, this and that, How Soon Is That. I could have picked a slew of them.
Yeah.
But I figured Handsome Devil had to be the one that engulfs everything for me. The rock and roll, the attitude of the vocals, guitar player that nobody can really mimic.
You know, I went out and I was working out on the field by my place, and I put on the playlist. I'm like, okay, I get it. And in the 80s, I'm sure there would have been more shock to it.
Yeah, but we've been shocked now.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. It's funk too.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a more newer punk band doing this kind of a sound. I kind of feel like it should
That's
just...
why it's the Smiths.
Yeah.
They did it, and you don't have to do it again.
And but the thing is, what was...
Not a Smiths fan, eh?
No, I mean that like
They
hit it on the head, and then like
Oh, like copying it would be
Yeah.
kind of futile, I guess.
It'd be injustice. That's why it wouldn't be done.
Right.
Because other bands would love to cover it. They just don't.
Because they can't.
That's
It's
fair.
crazy.
That's
It's
fair.
nuts.
Okay.
Like that, How Soon As Now has been tried to be done. It's just one of the riffs they can't.
I will agree with you on that. I've never heard that done by any band that's done a cover of it that as you put it, does
Yeah.
it justice. That is one of the Smith songs that I knew because it was so popular growing up that I just knew
Yeah.
it from the generation before me and then our generation kind of thing.
And you're a guitar fan.
I am.
And you ask any guitar
I'm an
player
air
about
guitar
Johnny
fucking master.
Marr. Ask anyone about Johnny Marr.
now.
Reverbs, delays, pedals. Like he's working the sound, not the instrument, which makes it so hard to mimic again.
I'll say somebody that did that similarly was The Edge and is The Edge.
Yes. You see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I just like how you put that there. He's working the sound, not necessarily the instrument.
Yeah, what's coming out of the
It's a-
box, he's playing off of that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? He's not playing like, no, he's like, oh shit, I gotta be here because that's coming back 4 bars from now.
Yeah.
Because it's on a delay or it's a loop or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever he's doing, whatever his chain is,
Yeah, yeah.
right? That's his secret. That's what makes it beautiful. You know what I mean?
I like this. You're opening my mind on I'm just getting, he's going to giggle at this, I'm just getting to my Smiths years.
I think you're the only one into the Smiths here, which is
Because, I mean, literally, I'm just getting to them. And why that? I mean, just. There are some songs. I still, unfortunately for me, I have, it's not bad, it's just a funny connotation with them. In my teenage years, those are your at times angsty, disjointed years, right? Aggressive sometimes. My teenage years weren't all in black. Sometimes docs, but weren't all in black.
What's up?
Hello, kitty cat.
that actually makes me more nervous than a black cat.
Yeah,
Of course you're gonna say
Yeah,
that,
right?
and I agree wholeheartedly.
Fucking black cats.
White cat.
I rate that too.
No, but you
We're
know when you
not
say
cutting
white
that
cat, they probably don't know it's a cat. It's a dude walking by.
So what,
So white
motherfucker?
cat.
Yeah, white cat.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So,
back to me talking about my angsty years. That's what I connect with this because it was a different group of friends that were listening to Morrissey. In my angsty years, I'm not listening to Morrissey.
I didn't
And-
listen to them. But
Sorry, and Smiths. I'm listening to Public Enemy and NWA
Yeah.
and Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane and yeah, that kind of stuff. That
And I had from first to last, so I mean, you still made it better than I did. So yeah, we had the emo phase. And
well, no, but whatever you're going through is what you're going through in that time period,
Yeah.
right? I guess it was the emos of my generation that kind of gravitated towards the Smiths and then Morrissey thereafter, right? So I shied away from it until very recently. My sister-in-law and you,
Yeah.
Pancho, have been opening my mind. I've calmed down as well, and of late I've been feeling a little bit angsty.
Yeah.
You know, if you've watched the show, unfortunately, that's where I'm at. So I think those feelers are open to it, so I'm open to it, and I've been enjoying it. So it's just sifting through it slowly.
But when it comes down to it, the Smiths, God, I mean, they influence everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care who the fuck you are. They influenced everyone. And even if you didn't like them, when people saw them on the road, they're like, holy shit. Like, that's a real deal. You know what I mean? And which they are. Because, I mean, you haven't seen them do anything else since. There hasn't been any unreleased.
Much gnashing of teeth when the Smiths broke up.
When they broke up, they were offered so much money to come back, and they refused to do it. You never heard of any unreleased Smith shit ever since they broke up. Like, no new shit unleashed.
Yeah.
Everything they put out with Dynamite. Like, everything. There wasn't anything bad. So, like, it's like, you know when you hear, even like Oasis, you'll hear a couple tracks, you're like, it wasn't really their shit. You know what I mean? They were just putting out a track, filling an album or whatever. B-sides are dope. Smiths never had that. Everything was fucking amazing.
So they would be an on-repeat band for you. Not only band, but there's tracks that are always...
I mean, if it's on repeat, then you better check on me. You better come and check on me because I'm in a rabbit hole somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it'll suck you in. That's how good it is.
Again, Handsome Devil, what a wonderful oxymoron of a song. Thank you.
No worries about it.
Mischief.
All right.
You want to hit up this next?
Merky's first choice is Sunset Rubdown. The song is called Silver Moons. It's released 2009 on the Dragon Slayer album. 8 tracks. Rock band from Montreal.
And Merky? Why? Can we ask?
Yeah.
Why
I chose what I chose.
Yeah.
Just to mess with you guys.
I
Which
like
is
that.
fair.
We do that with each other, so thank you. So, Merky said it. Thank you for challenging us.
This is the singing was very you. Okay, right when the lyrics started, I was like, yep, nope, this sounds like a song Merky would listen to.
Man, you guys don't know me.
There's a lot of metaphors in the lyrics. The whole lyrics, the entire lyrical content, in my opinion, is all metaphors. The song is about being reborn on the other side of an era in your own life and being all the better for it. So in the sense of just forgetting about about your problems or moving past them, or just having the realization that you're going to be wrong sometimes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I guess, and the best way to explain that would be, a lot of people have that problem when it comes to like relationships. Everyone wants to be right in the relationship. Sometimes you're not right, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with having to say you're sorry. But this song is essentially just that message of moving past everything, moving forward, and just being happy with where your life is heading, and
there's hopefulness in that.
There is a lot of hopefulness in that. But that's what I found out that the lyrics are actually written about with this choice of George Merky.
Old Spencer Krug. Yeah, he plays in a band called Wolf Parade, which is
Wolf
also
Parade?
I've
heard of it too.
Yeah, great band from Montreal. They get a lot of critical acclaim. Last time kind of sucked, but you know, whatever. It's fine. I'm not hurt.
You're wearing that one on your chest, Merky.
No, you know what? I went to go see their last show in Toronto there, and it was sold out for, as far as I know, the first time. Like every other time. So,
awesome.
Hey, let's go check out. It's like, why are you guys hopping on now? It came out 10 years ago. Like,
That's
I'm
good
glad
that
that
everybody-
everybody's finding it. Yeah. But, okay,
It was
I
a
wanted
lovely-
to be
But you wanted to be there, right?
This is mine. But yeah, I took it as just moving forward in your life and not getting hung up on the party and the silliness of it, the trivial things.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, when it comes to instrumentation, it's a beautiful melodic piano with these guided drums that build as the song's going on. And then just like, they crash like with this, like, it's just like a tidal wave of just like, it's the drums.
Yeah, it's just the two movements, you know? It's just like, it builds.
It's like the song is going with the lyrics, like it's moving past
the piano part, man.
those things that you're forgetting into this really, really good
Light at the tunnel.
upbeat. Yeah.
What was the woman's name that sings in it?
Camilla hyphenated last name.
I didn't win. No, I didn't get the last. Well, obviously I'm forgetting her name, but she had a kind of ethereal thing going on with her voice. I really like.
Yeah,
that.
she comes in first before he does.
Yeah.
She played in another band from Montreal, and I think he just.
So this is Montreal Collective.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's just their thing, you know. They
but the
love
song,
repping each other.
I love that.
It's awesome.
yeah, but the song is very warped and loud, and like I said, beautiful, and you know everything. It just builds and builds and builds and builds, and then stops.
For me, it's just one of my anthems. Like I just love singing along to it, and it's really
Like I
melting
said,
it.
the moment the sing started, I was like, "This is very you.
Yeah, I
This
guess
is
that
very
makes
you."
sense.
So the fact that you love singing along with it does not surprise me at all.
I just
For as
like
long as I've known you.
now that I've just found out more about that whole collective thing. Yo, proudly Canadian. We love that. We love that. We'll rep that, and we write that.
Yeah, it was basically like, what Canadian band am I going to rep? Yeah.
So at the 3-minute mark of the song, everything kind of drops.
Yeah.
Right. All the instrumentation drops except for the piano.
Yeah.
And then he actually makes this simple statement on growing up and leaving everything behind, like I was saying, with just the piano playing. The lyrics were, "Gone are the days bonfires make me think of you. Look like the prophecy came true. You are a fallen tree. He is a fallen tree. How old are you? No, how old are you?" And basically, what that was is replace the bonfire with like your favorite bar or just your favorite spot or like, you know, this park or wherever, or a cottage or wherever it is that either reminds you of those situations and it's just those days are gone, or they'll remind you, or that you'll be in those places and you'll start thinking of those moments, right, of those memories and stuff like that, and those are the memories that you want to put behind you. So gone are the days,
And then it being reborn to a certain
being
degree,
reborn.
right?
Oh, and then the song ends with the lyrics, "These days may be over now, but is that really a bad thing?"
Yeah.
Right? Is that really a bad thing?
To tie it into Handsome Devil, I feel like just the flow of the lyrics and just how he finds his pockets.
Yeah.
Kind of like Morrissey, where it's just off the beat or just in a it's not where you
pocket,
expect.
yeah, the
it.
lazy spot.
That how the congas make your hair sway around, and how it rolls into the next bar. And it's so good, man. Kills it, and I feel like I'm pretty sure they did it live off the floor.
It sounds like that.
Yeah, I feel like they're looking at each other when they're doing that vocal play.
Well, I'll say on my setup, it's a beautiful, it's raw-ish, a little bit overproduced-ish at times. The distortion was pretty mental.
Yeah.
But it, like just what you said, it felt off the floor.
Yeah.
I could picture everybody, like they really captured a 3D image with the recording, and that was fucking awesome for me. All 4 of these fucking tracks. My 2 cents on the hi-fi side of it.
I was just singing along, you know, that's always my stupid thing where I don't even know the words, I'll make them up. Just so long as I get
the melody, you
Yeah,
got the melody
I
of the
get the
vocals
melody
going
right.
on, and you just kind of follow.
I'll figure it out later. I never fucking do. This forced me to do so, which was nice.
Our third pick comes from Pancho, and again for this sort of version of On Repeat by these two gentlemen, I asked Pancho to do something classic, or what I would consider classic, something that he's been listening to a long time, that he comes back to a lot, depending on the situation and mood, of course. And then something newer, because I'm trying to learn too. So that was kind of a selfish one on my part. But the song that he chose is called Half Man, Half Shark by King Krule.
Yeah.
Right off the hop, I had to start it over a couple of times.
That's right.
And then I had to read about it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, man.
There's this crazy droning noise.
Right in the beginning.
Yeah.
You
What
can
is
hear this
happening?
murmuring, kind of chanting.
I thought it was a guitar slowly coming in.
But it's actually what's his name again? Marshall. His last name's Marshall. It's him and his dad doing chanting, and it's kind of in reference to a track that his dad made years ago. Which I couldn't find the name for, but that's what it was. Kind of an ode to his dad, and like a big hey pops, big ups. Let's do a tune. Let's do a tune, them. You know, like, yeah. It's a draining and eerie noise.
Yeah.
Right off the hop. So anyway, I started it over. I was like, what the fuck is
It
going
makes
on
you feel
here?
uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like it's not real. It's like
And it goes. It sustains for a little while too.
No, let me rephrase. I'm not used to that in the beginning of a track. I'm thinking of an old Smashing Pumpkins track where it's a beautiful melodic song, and then the last half, it's called Drown. The last half of it is just all Carol or Jimmy or along down the line. It's usually I'll hear basic pattern song, then off they go to the moon or whatever they want. This like started off crazy, kind of thing, droney, hypnotic. I'll get back to talking about this song. Why this track?
Well,
right now,
half man, half shark. Okay, like the analogy to pick it apart. Like shark has to move, otherwise it dies. Right? If a shark stops swimming, it dies.
Yeah.
Right. With that is isolation. Okay. Because that shark is the only one out there. And he's got to keep moving day and night. Right. But he's got to roll by himself. But that's how he gets the music done.
Yeah, he's got fishy friends.
Right?
He eats the fishy
Well, that's just it. People will tag along, right? But ultimately, it's you, right? And if you write music and you sit in the studio, 95% of that is agony. 5% is the creation. You know what I mean? And the other 95% of that is like working it down and like getting deep into it and like blocking everything out. And you keep moving. You're a shark that's moving. But you're not answering your phone, you're not going out to the party, you're stuck in your tune. You know what I mean? But when that's done, you have a beast. Like you have something that he's created, right?
Yeah.
And as a writer of all forms, I really identify with that, being isolated all the time. You know what I mean? Like I live in my little room and I have my write, I have my little studio, and I just work. Right? And other than that, get back out, you swim with the city. You know what I mean? You try to find your opportunity to make your thing happen, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not really understood for everybody. Like people can't all understand that, but I do. So maybe that's why I connect with it. You know what I mean?
The way I just took that statement when it was coming out of you was we are just all coming out of isolation, and this motherfucker needed to move. So, I mean, one of the only options were to move our minds, to move our brains. We didn't even do that. I didn't even do that for the first 2 weeks. I blazed it down. It was like holiday.
Yeah, I think the first...
And then you go into mode. And then you go into mode and you think, wait a minute, this isn't a holiday. We're in this. And I just took that. I connected with that on another symbolic gesture or note. That was a tough one, and I did connect with this song as well. It's urgent. It made me feel uncomfortable, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's driving once it gets going, kind of thing. His voice is fucking cool.
Yeah.
I did not. When I first looked at him, I was like, "That is not
exactly like
cool." I was expecting to see. It's an oxymoron to my visual aspect. I just was like, "That just came out of that." That's fucking awesome.
I was late to the game.
I'd stick.
Yeah.
With that.
Pardon me?
I'd stick with that. Like as soon as that you hone that voice, you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, this is me.
Ah, that's it.
And he owns it.
Yeah.
He owns it.
Droplets of Tom Waits in there, kind of for me.
For sure.
That growl in his voice.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as the lyrics started, I was just like, oh, okay, wasn't expecting that. And then as it goes on, and music just
the bass
builds.
rolling,
Yeah, and
rolling.
the bass. Oh my god, I love the
do.
Oh my god, I love it.
That shit just rolled. Yeah.
It comes on, It builds, and
That's a jazz influence too.
Okay.
Because he's Jimmy Jazz.
Got
saying
you.
his influences.
Okay.
Heavy Jimi Hendrix, heavy jazz.
Okay.
And I think he does a perfect job of that. When you really think it's distortions, Jimmy Jazz.
Jimmy Jazz.
Jimmy Jazz.
That's what I was like trying to wrap my head around for a second. I was like, wait, Jimmy Jazz, what the hell's that?
Jazz. I like that. I like
You're
that.
writing that shit down. Yeah, he's special to me because I was late to him. Like,
Okay.
he's already had a couple of albums, and then my boy's like, "Yo, have you heard this?" Oh man, I listened to it. I'm like, same thing. Reload that again. Right? Start again. I'm like, holy shit. And it was Dumb Surfer was the first one I listened to.
Okay.
And this was darker than that one. And that one, Dumb Surfer was even more growly in his voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, this guy's not even faking it. Like, this guy, this is who he is.
Yeah.
Like, this is like this is who he is.
That's kind of
with that
that's,
character.
there it is. There it
You
is.
know? Right? This guy's a Jimi Hendrix jazz guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's his influences. And when I first heard him, I'm like, wow, it's so weird. And the sounds are so dirty and like organic and hollow.
Does he play
Everything. 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 And even offered to do collabs with huge artists and he just refuses to do it. Refuses.
He does.
Kanye wanted to do an album with him.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I don't want to work with you.
I'll give respect to that.
How crazy is that?
I love
Put
that.
anyone else in that situation, they'll do an album with Kanye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
This was a quote that I just liked. It's simple, soft thoughts that become menacing, and then starts to fixate on like that whole perpetual solitude thing, right? A shark's alone; he's by himself, except for the lampreys. What was the other part of that?
Always remember the lamprey.
The lamprey, the hangers-ons. They're like the mustangs, the must-hang-ons. You know, a shark. It's got sharp teeth, and it's in solitude, but shows its scarred self like Marshall's voice. Getting back to that gravelly, I just loved that quote. Just hit everything perfectly. It was like hearing Simple Red on a different other side of voice. It was like hearing Simply Red for the first time. I heard it, and then when I saw the gentleman, it shocked the hell out of me. There's a skinny.
Yeah, there's no faking it.
No.
Just zero faking it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's coming
there's
from
zero
you.
chance that this guy's faking shit. And it's like, it's so refreshing to see that. Like, just like, only he can do what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not to say he's the best, because he's not. You know,
It's his thing.
It's his shit, right?
Yeah.
Or would you say he's keeping in character?
Yeah, you built a character and like,
Builds a character.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Why not stick with it? It's working for him.
It's
It's his voice and it.
yeah, and you can't if you're not adjusting around your voice, it's always gonna be good. Like that's his voice. Like, it's amazing.
It's exhilarating and frightening all at once.
It's crazy.
That was good.
That's not me. Again, that
really
was. I wrote that down.
That's a good.
That is a good analogy of that. It is, like I said, for me,
it's like
I don't know if I want to say frightening, but it was tense in the beginning of that, like I was saying earlier.
That's a good word. It's
You're not
very-
playing that at the dinner party.
I might, man.
You know what I mean?
Eat
Like-
your shit now.
You know what I mean? That's at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Like,
Set the pitch up a
you know
bit.
what I mean?
I
I'll
know.
shut the blinds. Like, we're here for a
What
minute.
the hell's gonna happen in this
Yeah.
piece?
taking you guys on a
That's-
What's
Yeah.
leaving? Nobody's
Yeah.
leaving.
Especially with that bass line, like I said, I fell in love with that bass line.
Oh,
It's so ear catching.
yeah.
It's beautiful to listen to.
You know when they say less is more, right? They say like less is
Yeah.
more. That had a lot and it was great. So
Or
that's
the
tasteful.
spaces between the notes.
It's
they say.
unreal, man. Like, yeah,
Oh.
you're a player, right? So you feel
So
that.
they
Like,
say.
Yeah, it's well, he's actually a bass player.
yeah, like that's just
You
like,
look around, look that up for. I've been listening to some old bass dudes. Right now, I'm into Jacko.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mischief.
Yes.
With our ending track of
Our
today.
last choice, Merky's last choice. The artist is Deacon. The song is "Sat by a Tree" off the Mystic Familiar album, which is an 11-track album released at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year. And the whole, first of all, Deacon's an American electronic musician.
Baltimore.
Yes, from Baltimore. This whole album is, the best way to describe it is this whole album is showing that Deacon is not afraid of death in any kind of way, because this song is, all 11 tracks are in some way, shape, or form something to do with death. Very interesting one to end off with too for this episode.
You know what? I chose it for the colors. I was like, man, getting older sucks. Sunset Rubdown, you make me feel bad, I guess, but I love singing the song. Dan, what have you got? Because he put out the album last year.
Yeah.
And like, it was a big gap between a full song-driven album. He was doing a lot of movie stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, you did a few. I think you did like 3
Scores or soundtrack?
Soundtrack,
Okay.
scores. You know, keeping busy, but just kind of shying away from full albums, or so I figured. And it just kind of crept up on me. I'm glad that he put out a new album, so I figured I'd rep it a little bit.
Sat by a Tree is, which is, again, ending the episode off on a weird note. Sat by a Tree is about the beauty, the inherent beauty of the decomposition and rebirth of the human body. Focus heavily on the decomposition of the human body.
And all backed by sonic bliss.
Yes.
It's blissful
It's a
to
very
listen to.
So
energetic
much going
bed
on.
of
It's just,
sonic
Yeah.
bliss.
it combs every little ridge of your brain. There are just so many.
This song
things
the
going
song
on.
goes back to the whole oxymoron thing. This song
Yeah.
is so upbeat and so happy sounding for what the lyrics are about. Which again is about the decomposition of the human body.
And rebirth. And rebirth.
And rebirth.
So I'll say both your tracks kind of had that about them that you picked.
I read the second
had
one
the-
through and I'm like, oh fuck, man, I gotta change my songs.
No,
I-
wait a minute.
It was too late in the game. I'm like,
I-
alright, well,
I felt, yes, immediately off the hop, first read, first listen. It's with what I've been going through, it's heavy. Hey, yo man, thank you, because then the positive parts come out. And both your tracks are also, yes, death, decomposition, rawr. But then rebirth and being reborn.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
But this song is more so on the actual focus on the death, not so much more so on the rebirth, right? But again, there are other songs on this album that do focus more on either like having an outer body experience or the more spiritual side of
yeah, the tie-in for the whole album, the Mystic Familiar, is just always having that entity above you,
yes.
around you.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like, I'm watching this one interview, I'm like, fuck off, man. I thought it was just fun electro pop.
You know what? He's not scared to talk. There's no fear in him about talking about it.
No, and
Right?
he totally normalizes it, and that's really well.
And again, for me, right now, it's a great pick, man. Thank you. Again, like, back to the sounds. For me, a new artist for me is Jacob Collier, who we talked about.
Yes.
There's so much texture
It's a
going
different,
on, and then there's space for other sounds to come in, and that it fade. There was a lot going on, and I liked it. Entering, fading, coming in, coming out, like just panning, whatever. Really great.
He does a great job of filling all the sonic contours.
The music is so there's this joyous energy that shows very little fear of death.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it just has that really feel-good tone driving all the way through it.
Yeah. Did anybody else watch the video?
Yeah,
For this
I watched-
song?
I mean,
I
didn't make it all the way through, which is incredible. I'm just an asshole, and I don't have the time
Oh
to
my
make
god,
videos.
the video's flipping fantastic. It's this old lady, and she dies, and she's decomposing. So,
It's all over. And
crawling all over, and she's slowly decomposing. And then right at the end, here's the rebirth part. You didn't watch it till the end.
I know how it ends.
Okay, so there's a tree that starts growing out of her.
Gosh.
There's the rebirth part, right?
I didn't even mean to choose these songs.
For what the instrumentation is doing, for what Dan Deacon is doing with the music,
Just
compared
the
to what
basic
the lyrics
notion, I
are.
was taking it at face value.
but it's sometimes it's just how some songs work, right? Something will draw you in, and then as soon as you start looking at all the different aspects that brought it together, whether it be the lyrics or whether it even be why the artist even made the song to begin with. It doesn't matter what the lyrics are about. Maybe the lyrics are totally whatever. Or whatever, even the music, whatever the reason the artist made the song about it, once you find that out, sometimes it just totally changes the feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as you find out why the artist did it, it's just like that happy-go jumping around feeling all of a sudden changes. And even though it makes you feel that, you're like, hold on, you remember why the artist wrote it, and you're like, it totally changes the feel of the song for you.
I didn't know, because I just read about Dan Deacon kind of thing. With this specifically, going back to the video, so he's Buddhist.
Yeah.
and the whole symbolic thing of Buddha sitting under a tree, gaining enlightenment.
Siddhartha,
Siddhartha, gaining enlightenment. So that was kind of symbolically portrayed in the video as well, right? As well as the name of the song, "Sat by a Tree," right? I
was
really
so mad that
connected.
I didn't give him the I just kind of expected it to be, talking to my other friends, they were like, "Oh yeah, Dan Deacon, his lyrics are kind of whack." I'm like, "What?" And then I look into it, I'm like, "You haven't even given it a chance. Like you didn't even think about what you just said."
It was a very topical listen that you did then.
I think they
You know what though?
slap me.
But at the same time, like that's like how people listen, right? If it's like at the end of the day, if it comes out of the speaker, you're gonna like it or not.
Yo, man, if I ask you, not tell you, if I ask you, I'm like, Ponch, check the lyrics on this, you do it.
Yeah.
You might not do it right away. I might have to remind you. You might have to remind me. Whatever. But
But for the people to have that reaction off of first listen, makes sense.
yeah,
But if they
because
don't,
you said it too. It was like, oh fuck, I can fucking bop to this, man. I can fucking air guitar my ass off. to
right?
this
But when you
motherfucker.
tell people to start looking at the
Right.
lyrics, they start to have a different feel. Like lyrics, like it may only last a moment, but a moment can last a lifetime in your own mind. Right? Is like to convey a near infinite feeling of your own consciousness.
Yeah.
Like if
Poetry, real poetry shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If no one makes the effort to look at the lyrics and they're just
I think
judging a book by its cover, which is just face value of listening to the song.
I think he stepped up to the plate for this album in particular.
Yeah, the whole album for sure.
Yeah,
As a
maybe I
piece,
should-
like a whole album piece, rather. Yeah.
I feel like he just put a little more weight into it this time.
Okay.
Which is
Which is fair.
he also had 5 years to put it, or 6 years to put it together, whatever it was from his last one. One of my friends just kind of denounced him because he gained a whole bunch of media attention for.
And
some
good for
reason.
him.
Yeah, right.
Good for him, man.
Oh, you know what? Pitchfork loved him. Why is that a reason not to listen to him?
Yeah, absolutely. I find lots of great shit on Pitchfork.
I was just
Go
gonna say.
Pitchfork. It might not be for
You're
me. It might
welcome,
be for me,
Pitchfork.
but like the fact that they're regarding these musicians, I think is great. And if he makes a little bit out of it, so be it.
I'll pay him to make more stuff.
Yeah.
Dan's funny.
So with Dan Deacon, when I was doing my research as a studio guy myself, I ended up reading about a studio, which has been described as, because there was so much going on in the music. I was like, I need to know. Like, I was curious to see what was going on.
I'm picturing
in this world.
wires and like ductwork
So-
and just, like a crazy
Modular stuff everywhere.
So basically, it was described his home studio. It was a home studio, first of all, and it was described as a toy store mixed with a science lab for musicians.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just shelves of digital audio gadgets, multiple studio computers and monitors, stacks on stacks of synths with wires like snakes everywhere.
I
Right?
picture a bigger version of Lemax. That's for me, who's like knows nothing about being in a studio to make anything. Like I've been to a couple of small.
Well, it just shows he loves gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
the
likes
more gear
to
that you
experiment,
play with it- Yeah.
and he likes to
Well,
experiment.
That's
right?
the thing. He's figuring out his chain, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to
And
figure out a
that's
chain.
that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where the snakes and the wires being
Yep.
all over the place is, because you could have a whole bunch of racks, but what you do with them is your own thing. You could, plug in one thing that shouldn't be plugged into something else, but you do it and just play with the parameters enough that you don't ruin anything. But you get this weird, crazy, who knows what out of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
unique tones.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Unique New York. Unique tones and just unique experiences.
For anyone making music, there are the best way I like to explain it with any musician or any songwriter, there aren't any rules when it comes to making music. There are guidelines. There are maybe things that you should keep in mind while making music. Do whatever the fuck you want, right?
Yeah.
It's yours, right? You shouldn't be following like a set to-do list when you're coming to your music. It should just do something, and if it fucking works, play with it. Go with it. Run with it for as long as you
Play the
possibly-
sound, not the instrument.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's really fun to watch him do it live too. He does a lot of the production on stage there, and I don't know how he pulls off half the shit he does while jumping into the crowd. He's known for a lot
The
of
song
crowd
changes
work.
and he's in the crowd. It's like, how the hell did that happen? Don't
Hey,
worry.
hold on!
Don't worry.
How many damn Deacons are there? Look
So,
behind you.
gentlemen, thank you for the choices. And
Which were, so what did we start off with? The Smiths.
started off with the Smiths, Handsome Devil.
Then we had Sunset Rubdown with Silver Moons.
And then King Krule with Half Man, Half Shark.
And then ended off with the crazy Dan Deacon's Sat by a Tree.
Which challenged me.
And every one of these songs challenged me.
Good choices, gentlemen.
Thank
Hats
you.
off.
Very good
Thank you.
choices.
Thanks for having us.
So to end us off, either of the cameras or either of you guys want to promote anything of your own? I know you got your
Yeah,
Keepin'
Keepin' Busy
Busy.
show. Yeah, Keepin' Busy. You can check it out on PTap. It's a Facebook link there. Every Sunday, Mondays, 8 o'clock.
oh, it's just Sunday Mondays now?
Yeah, because life's getting back to normal.
Oh, fair, right.
And it's just like it's too tough to do it. Like,
But during the lockdown, it was every single day.
for 78 days straight.
It's crazy. So
That's
you guys
right.
got to check that out. So
It was
I don't know
a-
if
it was
I'm
a
looking at that
blast.
camera because I can't even see that camera. Camera can't see me. Check it out.